What's up, guys? This is the next lecture in our online lecture series for geometry. In this lecture, we'll go over angle theorems. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Let's get started. So corresponding angles form on the same side of the transversal, right, between two parallel lines. So if a transversal intersects two parallel lines, the corresponding angles are equal. So in this case, same side of the transversal, right, they match. Right, that is the key indicator. Right, these two angles are denoted by the black arrow, but these are also corresponding angles. Right, like if they also were these two, right, those would be corresponding. There's multiple corresponding angles, right? These two would be corresponding, right? They have to just match, right, with the parallel lines on the transversal. So let's go ahead and take a look at alternate interior angles. Alternate interior angles form opposite side of the transversal. And these form inside parallel lines. Right, so that's also denoted by the black arrow, but these are also alternate interior angles. Good. Then I could also have alternate exterior angles, right, opposite side of the transversal. But these form outside parallel lines. So in this case, denoted by the black arrow, you can see alternate exterior. These are also alternate exterior, right? Either one of these are permissible. So just ensure that when you are trying to figure out the difference, when you're deciphering on a given figure, alternate interior to alternate exterior, exterior is outside, interior is inside. That's the only difference. Supplementary angles are angle pair that adds to 180 degrees. So if we were to take this angle to the left and add it by this one to the right, whatever that angle is, x, right, plus some y, that should give me 180 degrees total. So that's how supplementary angles work. For complementary angles, this is angle pair that adds to 90 degrees. And so if we take a look at this angle in red compared to this angle in green, if I were to add these two together, then x plus some y should give me 90 degrees. So that is the difference between complementary and supplementary. Complementary is 90, supplementary is 180. The last angle I will show you within this lecture are vertical angles. And these are angles opposite each other when two lines intersect. And so angles opposite each other when two lines intersect. And so as you can see, these two angles are facing each other. They are in fact equal to each other. These are called vertical angles. Let's go ahead and try some practice. So if angle 1 is 35, what is angle 2? Well, angle 1 forms a corresponding angle to this side right here, I'm going to denote it in blue. Okay. This angle denoted in blue and angle 1 are in fact corresponding. And what do we know about corresponding? Corresponding angles are equal to each other. So if angle 1 is 35, then this blue is 35. And then between this 35-degree angle and number 2, I see supplementary. And so 2 plus 35 should give me 180. Right? So I'll have, instead of a number, we'll denote number 2 as some variable, right? So that it's not counterintuitive. We'll denote it as maybe R. And so 35 plus R equals 180. And so in this case, we'll subtract 35 from both sides. Right. So then angle 2 is in fact 145 degrees. All right. Now we're going to look for A and B. If we take a look at all the angles on A, right, there's a straight line that forms directly underneath all the angles for A. So a straight line forms 180 degrees, which means if I were to add all the angles with a given A variable attached, I should get 180 degrees. That is what we call supplementary angles. So in this case, I have 4A plus 4A plus 2A equals 180. So I'm going to combine my like terms. 4A and 4A, that's 8A. Plus 2A, these are also like terms. So that comes out to 10A equals 180. Divide by 10. In this case, A is equal to 18. So, A being 18, I can take that and plug that back in for A to see what one of these angles should be. I would much rather plug it back into maybe this one right here, only because this 4A and this 2B, those would form vertical angles. All right. And given the fact that these are vertical angles, I can then therefore say that once we plug this 18 back in for A, which will come out to 4 times 18, which is equal to 72 degrees, I can say that 72 degrees is equal to 2B. And so I'm going to divide 2 by both sides. And 72 divided by 2 is 36. So that is how we would figure that out. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at another practice problem. In this case, I have 2 bits of information provided. I'm trying to figure out what is y. Well, above I have 40 degrees. This 40 degrees and this angle right here, they're facing each other, right? And they're sharing lines. Those are vertical angles. Given vertical angles, I know that if the top one is 40, this also has to be 40. All right, and if this is 110, I know that an angle pair forms here. This angle pair we call supplementary. And so we'll call this variable x. It's 110 plus x gives me 180. Subtract 110 from both sides. It cancels. And so this side here is 70 degrees. All angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees total. So if I have 40 and 70, what should this right here be? If I do 40 plus 70 plus something, that should give me 180. 40 plus 70 is 110. Plus something gives me 180. Subtract 110 again. And I should have 70. And so this right here is 70. Again, there's another supplementary angle pair that forms here. And so y is equal to 110 degrees. Let's try another one. So we're given 2 bits of information again. I have this red symbol notation here denoting 90 degrees. And then if that's 90 degrees, there's an angle pair, right, that forms between this 57 and right here. And we know that to be vertical angles. So we have some vertical angles that form. And so this over here should also be 57 degrees. And then between these 3 angles, I have a supplementary pair. So in this case, 90 plus 57 plus something gives me 180 degrees. Combine my like terms. 90 plus 57 gives me 147. Plus x gives me 180. Subtract my 147 from both sides. I have x giving me 33 degrees. All right, if you guys had any questions regarding this lecture, please feel free to reach out and let me know. I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. Hope you guys have a good one.